I struggled coming home. The transition was rough because retiring from the military is a difference when you're healthy. I retired because I wasn't healthy. So coming home, there was nothing for me. So now that I'm healthy, after 4 years, I've decided to create the HIP Foundation, and it's called Healing is Power. And with that title, in order to get your life back, you have to go through the healing. And that's a very, very, very hard thing to do.
Yolanda Dortch-Amiker, a military veteran with Jersey City roots and founder of the HIP Foundation, sat down with Real Jersey City to talk about her battle with post-traumatic stress disorder, starting with her career as a soldier.
I'm Yolanda Dortch-Amiker. I was raised here in Jersey City. I had a child when I was 21 years old. After having my child, I realized that I didn't want to raise her around all the drugs, the violence, the crime, so I decided that I would join the military. After joining the military, I've served in 8 different cities, 3 different countries. I went to war. After all the traumatic events I've experienced in the military, I realized that I wanted to do something about it. So when I came home, I decided to launch the HIP Foundation.
In an emotional follow-up, Dortch-Amiker spoke about the traumatic event that preceded her battle with PTSD.
Well, the traumatic event I had in the military, I was working at the Wounded Warrior Transition Battalion in Hawaii. And one of the soldiers that I had PTSD. And coming from rehab, I was his leader. So one day he was drunk and he physically sexually assaulted me. And after that, I had a stroke. So after the stroke, my life just was in a whirlwind. Struggling, lost in a hole, not knowing anything, just dead. I was just dead inside. So it's a bit much. I just gave up. I didn't want to live anymore. I didn't want anything. I just wanted to die. And then it's difficult. It's difficult. After being in the hospital, going through rehab, I had to move to North Carolina. And that's where I started to deal with the assault. In Hawaii, I dealt with the stroke, getting better, learning how to walk, learning how to talk again, just almost being a baby, learning how to just do everything over, which was really, really, really difficult. And then my child being there, it was rough for her because I couldn't take care of her because I had to be taken care of. So North Carolina was the place where everything came to a head. Dealing with still remnants from the stroke and then dealing with the assault. That was rough. The nightmares, the pills. It was 22 different pills just to live. So, it got so bad to where I was admitted into a psychiatric hospital where I learned how to deal with and talk about what happened. A lot of other things came to surface. Things that just was just so far to reach. It just made me just relive any and everything that I ever been through. So coming home was difficult because now being in a psychiatric ward, the world will see you as crazy. And then being diagnosed with post-traumatic stress disorder and cognitive disorder, it just made me feel like I couldn't do anything. Like I was afraid of everything. I never went outside. I stayed in one room. Sometime I would go out as long as people were with me. But riding a train, nothing. I was just in a black hole.
DortchAmiker, who said she still has PTSD but is healthy, followed up by talking about the veterans and others she plans to help with the H.I.P Foundation.
I'm healthy. I have post-traumatic stress disorder. Yes, I do. What I will do now with the H.I.P Foundation is help those who were like me. There are lots of millions of soldiers, veterans, wounded warriors, civilians that have post-traumatic stress disorder, and they don't want to talk about it because, again, the title of being crazy. People take advantage of you, manipulation. It's almost like you being a child and you telling your child, no, you can't do that. No, sit down. No, you can't go here. No, you can't go there. I'm grown. I'm 44 years old. You think I want someone to tell me what I can and cannot do? Now with the H.I.P Foundation, we will find all the veterans that are suffering from mental illness, PTSD, and we will find the resources to help them. Most of them don't have 100% coverage, medical coverage. So what the H.I.P Foundation would do will raise money and help those veterans transition from where they are now into having better lives for themselves. A lot of them are homeless. A lot of them don't have jobs. And what we will do at H.I.P is to help them to get jobs, to find housing, to become human again. Because you're in a hole, and that hole is so dark that it's not good.
Finally, DortchAmiker spoke about the Am I Still Beautiful campaign under the H.I.P Foundation that encourages women who've dealt with traumatic events.
The Am I Still Beautiful campaign is a campaign under the H.I.P Foundation that encourages women that suffer through traumatic events. The Am I Still Beautiful launch is a photo gallery of all of the traumatic events that I've been through during my healing process. I Am Still Beautiful is me, and I am it.
For more information, please visit thehipfoundation.org. I'm Michael Shuren with Real Jersey City, the talk of the town.